Welcome back to the Change of Plans podcast. I am Joe Aguirre along with Vinnie Provenzano. And here we go. Episode number 9. Great response so far on this podcast. And Vin,
yes,
you look great, by the way.
Oh, you stop it, Joe. You ravishing young man. I know I didn't get a chance to go home, do the old switcheroo and come back. So you got work, Vin, right now. It's business up top. Always partying on the bottom, though. You know how I roll, Joe.
Now I'm wondering what the bottom looks like, and I don't want to be. I don't want to be.
You don't want me standing up today, dude. It's no bueno.
And your dog is there too. We should probably mention that because your dog, he's got to move his bowels soon.
My dog, it's so usually my schedule is I get to the house, he'll shit because he'll hold his shit all day, and then I'll come back here to do the podcast. Well, we're on a time crunch, so I was like, maybe we'll drag it out a bit. And there's a pretty good chance he's gonna shit in my office. So thank God this is not something that our audience could smell. So, but I'm gonna, cross my fingers and hopefully he doesn't shit. But if he shits, can't really blame him either. I'm not holding my shit for 12 hours, so it's all right.
That's a lot to ask of your best friend.
It is, but that's why he's ride or die, dude. If there's anyone I can count on to hold their shit for a long period of time, it's my dog. It's
nice.
It's not like my stepson who takes, which is weird, he takes mid-dinner shits. I've never seen it. And it's not like once in a while. It's a good halfway through the meal. It's like a pit break at a a racetrack. Like he's like, I'm halfway through the chicken cutty.
Yeah, the chicken cutty.
And finish this off. It's the most wild, and he's like so casual about it, like everybody does it. It's amazing to me. It's wild. And the other thing that now that we're talking about shits, because this is really just going off the rails today, but we'll get it back on eventually. You know what annoys me about having a kid in the house? Like he's got his own in-law apartment downstairs, right? He's got his own bathroom and shit, but he will walk his ass upstairs to drop heat in my bathroom. Like, bro, right? Like, I mean, like I just don't. It just makes me mad. Like every time I walk him up, he's got his cell phone in his hand, and I'm like, "Sure, bro, have at it." And it's usually like when I'm getting home in the morning, I'm trying to get ready for work, and I gotta brush my teeth, and he just cuts me off like we're on the highway, and just beelines it in the bathroom, and I'm like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? So maybe this will be what the podcast is about today.
Well, if you want to make it about
rituals?
That, yeah, my 8-year-old son, he has his own bathroom, and for some reason, whenever he's got to go, and he's got to announce it, he's got to do he'll either say, "I got to drop a deuce."
I like that. That's a strong one.
This another one. He'll say, "I got to drop some heat."
I was just gonna say you got to go with the heat. That's a classic.
I like that one a lot. Or he'll just be like, "Oh man, I got to take a shit," and right into my bathroom. I don't understand. Like, right, there's multiple bathrooms. The one by your room, that's the one you go in. The one you have to go into my bedroom to get into, that's not your bathroom. It's not your bathroom at all.
Just yes, it's one of the infuriating things of parenthood that I'm learning. It's that, and I don't know if we've talked about this before, but the making of food and it just sitting there until whenever they decide to graze. It's just there's nothing more. I think it had to be maybe last week, the week before. He's sleeping, and so I'm making this sandwich, right? Like, and I take pride. I want him a dope ass breakfast sandwich in the morning. So I got 15 pots out. I look like crazy, right? For this like little sandwich. and I'm just beaming with pride. He sits down and it's just glowing off the plate. I'm like, oh my god, take a bite and let me know how good I am at this shit, bro. 10 minutes, like 15 minutes, like I had to leave the house. Like my wife was just staring at me, just she knew it. Like she was just laughing because I was just getting more infuriated by the minute. So I left. I left the house. I didn't stick around to see if he liked the sandwich or not. Till this day I have no idea if he ate it because I was so infuriated. But my wife does the same thing. She'll make a meal and she'll just eat it whenever. I mean, I got to be burning my mouth. It just drives me crazy. Absolutely crazy. Oh, you're muted again, Joe. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to keep on talking while Joe fixes his microphone. So you will be graced with my voice. Oh, there, he's back on. Are you back?
Yeah, so
Yes.
here's can I tell you the new funny thing that my 12-year-old daughter's been doing? I just figured this out the other day because while I'm at work, she likes to come down here and she likes to use this computer to go on YouTube. And she's autistic. And so she does sometimes things for no rhyme or reason. One of the things she likes to do is this here microphone, she'll contort it in all sorts of weird ways. And she does the same thing with my camera. She likes to mess with the camera. Actually pulled it off its arm the other day. And then a couple days ago, she was down here and she started freaking out because she was trying to watch YouTube videos. And I'm like, what is going on with this computer? Why is it not connecting? She's been unplugging the internet. It's the only white cord underneath here. And for some reason, she comes down here and
I mean, it's pretty rough. Like I'm starting to sweat for you. You know how like when something bad happens to somebody else and you start sweating
yeah.
and you're just like, oh man, I do that with movies too. Like I hate awkward moments in movies. Like I can bathe in an awkward moment in person, like if I'm creating it because I think it's hilarious. But I will get up and leave the room if it's an awkward moment in a TV show or movie. Like I physically start sweating. Like I don't know
No
what it is. I
kidding.
can't. Oh, dude, it's bad. It's just and I don't know why because I'm the king of awkward. Like there's nothing more I like to do than just create a problem. I had it today. I'm in court and I'm dealing with this case, and it's the I just really can't stand the mom. I can't stand anything about this lady, and in my opinion, she's just not a very good person. And her attorney is fantastic. Great attorney, great family lawyer, but I just lost my mind in the hallway. And it's about parenting time, and my client can't see the kid because mom has to breastfeed the kid until the kid's 14. Like, whoever the fuck knows, it's wild, right? But like, I
Oh,
start losing my mind, and I'm like, I just had a parent got Narcan 3 times, and she's sleeping over with the kid tonight. And I'm like, you're telling me this? Like, losing my mind, bro. Like, sweating. I had an umbrella. I almost hit somebody. And I'm like, and then all of a sudden this guy comes up. He's like, dude, can I get your number? I need a lawyer like you. I'm like, and then I didn't have a card, so I was like, here, give me your phone, give him my cell, and a post it. I'm like, maybe someday I will be professional, but like, I'm the king of awkward. But you get me at like a Hallmark movie and it's some weird point, dude. I gotta leave, man. I gotta leave. So, but it's just been one of those weeks, Joe. It's a frustrating week, long week, right? How was your week?
my week was interesting. I am trying to go away for the weekend with my wife and children. They've already left. They're already at Cape Cod. And so I've been each day doing extra work so that I can have 2 days off to go spend with my family, as ungrateful as they are.
That is hilarious because I was I'm laughing because I had just like I wrote down something and it was So my wife, yeah. So kind of going along with the vacation thing and the whole, I mean, not being ungrateful, but my wife's like big into memories and not spending money, right? So
Yep.
it's just, so I saw this cool quote and I'm like, oh, we could talk about this today, change some lives. It's just stop being afraid to spend money because you're not spending money, you're buying memories, right? Like, and it's that like, and then you got waves in the background, and then the ocean splashing, and it's just great music on TikTok. And then reality hits you in the face. You're like, I just worked an extra 72 hours so these four kids could drop a bunch of hot dogs in the sand and bitch about how hot it is outside.
Right. Yeah.
That's like the behind the scenes of the commercial, right? But no, that's good though. Like I mean, it's good to get that quality time in. But man, I hate the beach, Joe. I couldn't. No, there's nothing appealing about it actually. Not one thing.
You know what the worst part is? It's like 3 hours from here.
It's like going to Fairfield, right? Like it's the
It's a
Cape.
haul. It's a haul. And like for what? What's
It's
it all
not
really
far enough
for?
to be a trip, right?
Yeah.
It's just like far enough to be super fucking annoying,
Yeah.
and you're dealing with traffic to be 3 hours from your house
Yep.
in Cape Cod.
In Cape
Like,
Cod. And
like,
here's the
ah.
worst part. My wife has been going to Cape Cod her whole life.
Mhm.
And so when we go to Cape Cod, we have to go and do all the things she's been doing since she was like,
So when are you supposed to leave? Are you leaving tonight? You leaving tomorrow?
no, I gotta work tomorrow. I gotta go do the morning show. And that's always fun.
Mm.
Spread all that hate. And then I gotta record my afternoon show. So I'll be heading out about 11, get there about, you know, before dinner, I guess.
Dude, it's so long. It's the worst.
Yeah, I'm gonna
It's
drive there and I'm gonna get there and I'm gonna unpack my stuff out of the car and they're gonna be like, "Hey, let's go have dinner." And I'm not gonna want to. I'm gonna want to sit down and relax. I just drove 3 hours by myself. Nobody will care.
no, they just want dinner, and they're like, "Don't leave your wallet in the car." That is gonna be
That's
that is. But hey,
what it
at
is.
least you're getting at least you're getting away, man. I've been so baseball season started, and the kids have the week off, but like the school forgets that parents don't have the week off. So we had a game at 11 on like a Tuesday
Oh,
and another
geez.
one on Thursday at like 12. And I could tell you once again, like these things I'm learning as a parent, it's bad enough. Like you're trying to get out of work at like 3 o'clock, but now I got to get out at 11 o'clock to watch this team get shellacked. Like,
Ooh,
like 0-5. Like
really?
I drove to Clinton from Meriden and I pulled in the parking lot. I saw the scoreboard and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Right? Like, come on, kids. Yeah, they are 0-5. It's no bueno. No bueno. They actually don't look bad. A lot of like one-run games, but man, that I'm trying to rethink things. Maybe I can pull the I'm the bad luck charm, so maybe I'll
There you
stay
go.
home.
Right? That's a
That's
lot of driving to be disappointed, though.
it's about the kids, as Trick Daddy says, right? Like it's about the kids, but like then too, like I'm old school, like these kids are pouting and I'm just raging out. And then you always get that one parent whose kid is doing awesome and he's just fucking walking around and like floating. Like, oh, another hit for my kid. And I'm like, dude, I'm just gonna fucking run you over in the parking lot. I can't. I won't mention any
How?
names in case people listen.
Yeah. How's your stepson playing? Is he doing okay?
He's playing well. He pitched last week. He had 10 strikeouts in 5 innings.
Nice.
Little struggling at the plate, but he'll find that. He usually gets in a mid-season groove, and he's catching for the first time ever. So we our starting catcher, who was nasty, was like, I'm not going to catch, and if I have to catch, I'm not going to play baseball. So no one wanted to be a catcher anymore. So the coach asked Jess, who's probably an all-state caliber center fielder, to catch. So he's learning on the fly, but he looks good back there. I enjoy it. He's a thinker, right? So he's engaged a lot as a catcher, so I think he likes it. But man, it takes a toll on your body, dude. Like he had a game last weekend, caught 7 innings. Next day he threw 5 innings, and then he had to play right field. So by the time he got to right field, he looked like me walking, and I'm like, oh my god, dude. I couldn't even imagine. But he's doing all right. Like he's doing well. I feel bad for the kids, but whatever. They get to play baseball. It's just the parents that sometimes annoy me, but I'm not going to get into it because some of the parents listen to this, so I don't want them process of elimination who has been talking shit about.
They'll figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like one of those I'm already I'm fully vested now. I'm fully vested stepdad. So my time is coming to start losing my shit on some of these parents. It's coming. Because you get those ones that just talk shit about other people's kids. While everyone's sitting there, we all hear you. And no one on the team is Joe DiMaggio. So, maybe I'll bring Joe to a game. Joe likes to point out the facts of the case. Be like, yo, hey, by the way, your kid sucks.
Your kid's fundamentally lacking some skills, if we're being honest here. Yeah.
But
I'd love to come and do that.
But I think it's so I think baseball parents are the worst. I heard soccer parents are crazy, right? But I think it's a soccer mom thing, but baseball parents, everyone thinks their kid is going next level. They're he's on a travel team. I'm so is everybody else. They're he's gonna go pro, and you're no, he is not. Parents are crazy. I've been to 1,000 baseball games, and I'm why? Why in the world? It's insane. And then on top of it, then the parents take credit, they did it. They're the ones playing the baseball or the sport. They always use a pronoun we. No, there's no we. I'm not out there. There's zero shot. I'm gonna be catching. Right? Yesterday, for example, this is how old I am, and this is how I know I'm definitely not playing baseball. I had 2 different socks on yesterday in court, right? And I knew I had 2 different socks on when I left my house. But I know how difficult it is to change my socks at my ripe old age of 44. So I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna get angry with myself because it hurts for me to change my socks. So I rolled up to court, 2 different socks on, and you know what? I'm 2 steps away from grabbing a fishing pole and having to hook my sock and reel it off. But no, I mean, he's doing well. He's got the prom coming up soon, so he's excited about that. He's out there living his life, hanging out with his friends. I think which is good, but it also aggravates me. He went hit golf balls with his friend yesterday, and he didn't ask me to go.
You golf?
Yeah. Not well, but I golf. I like to golf. Yeah.
I also like to golf. Not well.
Well, maybe that's something we could do, Joe. Look at that, Joe. We just had a connection on air. That is live.
Doing it. We're doing it.
Let's go. Yeah. So so it's funny because me and him used to go to the driving range, and now that he has friends and he drives,
you're out.
And I'm I dropped hints 3 or 4 times, hey, you need another one, or hey, I'm playing Sunday, and you think you get the pity invite, and my wife's oh, just go with them. I'm no, I just want the hey, you want to come with us?
Yeah.
See you later, Vin. I'm nice.
Have fun.
I'll be here watching This Is Us on Netflix. That uplifting show. That is. Have you seen that show, by the way? This Is Us.
Yes. Yeah. I refer to it as hate watching. That's what I do. When I watch it and I criticize it, and my wife does too. It's actually something we enjoy doing together.
Oh man, so we've been trying to find shows to watch, right? And I love my wife is just gonna hate me. So I love my wife. So we'll find a show, right? And I'm not a big fan of it, but then I'm trying to get into it, and then she just watches episodes without me. Like if I'm sitting down watching some shows,
Whoa.
and then it's just like, and she's not vindictive. She's just, you know. So I'm like, all right, well, get me up to speed. I'll catch the cliff notes, and then what I like to do though is because these shows are so stupid, I'll sit down like, and I just like, oh, this is what happened. She's like, how did you know? You didn't watch the show? And I'm like, it's not that complicated. But this show's a bit emotional to watch with your spouse, depending where your spouse. Like yesterday was, I don't know, the couple was fighting about she's like a singer and she's traveling a lot and not raising the kids or whatever. So the husband gets drunk and sucker punches some dudes. He tried to make out with his wife, like all normal shit a guy should do. Like
Yeah.
that's what I would do, which in turn like causes a little bit of a discussion in the house. And I'm like, well, yeah, if you're on the road being a lounge singer, some dude tries to kiss you and you don't tell me, like, we're gonna have a problem. She's like, well, she sacrificed her life to raise these kids. And I'm like, I can't watch this show anymore. Like, and then you go to bed angry over This Is Us. Like it's just awkward in the house right now over a goddamn show. But the whole premise is weird, right? Like it's a weird, like you're supposed to have what, triplets, and then the one baby died, so all of a sudden some dude, homeless guy, just dropped the baby off, and they're like, "Here, take the kid. This is a good idea." And wallow, you have a show, and I'm like, and then we get an argument about that. I'm like, it's not realistic. Like that's kind of odd. And I'm like, why
Yeah.
are we watching this show? Like none of this really makes sense. But then I get hooked. Like that's the other problem. I get mad because then I'm all of a sudden like I want to watch the show and she's just sitting there just watching away. Just watching away.
You know what my wife will do sometimes? We'll be watching something and I sense maybe she's not that into it. And all of a sudden she'll just like turn it off or flip to something else. And I'm like, what are you doing? You're not into this. We're like 20 minutes into like an hour-long thing. What do you
You're not I just like this
just
statement.
put it back on now.
Not,
Just put it back on.
It.
Yeah. You know, it's really funny. We watched a movie on Netflix a couple weeks back, and I think Amy Adams was in it.
Yep.
And she was like, Amy Adams in it. This is a really good movie. And I jokingly, I went, who's directing it? And it was like a first-time director.
Yep.
And we watched this movie, and I got to tell you, it sucked. It wasn't very good. And the movie ended, and I said to her, honestly, not a great debut film for this filmmaker. And she tried to defend it for a minute, and then she looked it up, and would you believe this guy was getting terribly panned for a terrible directorial debut? big time score on Rotten Tomatoes. And I was like, look at that. That was right. Nailed it.
Truth bomb. Again.
Nailed it.
It's so funny, man. We'll watch it. She you know what she likes to do too? And I just she likes to watch just the beginning of the next episode. Like a teaser.
Good. A teaser.
Right? Like a
tomorrow.
Teaser. And so like I'm sitting and I know she does it. And I'm like, and I'm very prompt about time. This is how much I like you, Joe, because I am OCD about time.
Yeah.
And like I'm sitting here stewing in my office, but I'm like, oh, it's 9:35. I gotta brush my teeth and get to bed by 10 or I'll die. So I just shut it off. And she just gets so mad. And my wife does not get mad at a lot of things. Like you can't if you're living with me. Like you just gotta just take it. But man, dude, it's she gets very angry about the shutting off of TV when she's not ready.
You know what the other new hot thing in this house is? I get a lot of, she sends me TikTok videos. But not like, hey, this is funny, watch this. There's like a hidden message in the TikToks. It's like, this TikTok is about weaponized incompetence. And then, right, they start explaining, like, maybe you're supposed to fold the laundry, but you all half-ass it. You don't fold it like you work at the Gap.
So funny, yeah.
What do you want from me? it's not enough that I help with the housework. It's like you're doing it wrong on purpose. No, I'm doing it wrong because I'm a fucking idiot. And I really don't enjoy cleaning. I don't enjoy laundry. I don't enjoy folding. I just put it
See,
away.
me, you would hate me because I'm that. I'm like, I'm that guy like you wash something and I just walk by and I'm like, nope, no, no. Are you done? Are you done washing that? Like, is that clean? Or like, she doesn't put enough food in the dog bowl, and then I get mad about it. I'm like, that's how much you feed the dogs? Like, how dare you? So what? Like, so yesterday we always had this argument about whether we came from primates or not, right? Because I'm just fascinated with fucking gorillas, apes, chimpanzees, all of them, orangutans. So I got this awesome TikTok, and it was like an orangutan that got a juice box for the first time, and
Nice.
he literally like pulls a straw off with his mouth, grabs the straw, punctures it in the puncture hole, and then drinks the fucking juice box like a
Wow.
person. And I'm like, that's proof. Like there, and I'm like crying laughing. I'm laughing so hard, and it's I don't know what's so funny. I'm like it's hilarious. It's the most, or what me and the kid always send back like for Instagram reels. Like we'll do it all night, dude. I'll just go down a black hole of reels after reels after reels, and we are just having the time of our lives. And my poor wife is just sitting there like, what is going on? And I'm like, it's funny. She's like, it's not funny. And I'm like, that's why you're not getting the Instagram reels. But like, it's funny, right? Like, and that's how like I guess you connect with kids, and we have a blast. But I just couldn't even imagine being a teenager, like a boy, and just having like Instagram or TikTok. Like, I mean, back when we were kids, it was like I couldn't wait to get the Sears catalog. Like, I'm like, hey, I'll be back. I'm looking for some sweaters for Christmas.
Yeah. Right. Everyone's
Yo,
getting a sweater.
yeah, everyone. There's a lot of sweaters in here, Ma. I'll be in the bathroom picking out my Christmas list. These kids, there's no fucking shot. And that's why I can never have a daughter either. Like any thoughts of ever raising a daughter, Instagram, TikTok, all of it killed it. Like, go be 800 pounds and name Paul. Like, go in a bell tower and just stay there forever. It is a scary, scary place out there. But, I don't know how you girl dads do it, man. Ain't no way. No.
Yeah, I don't. I've never been a big fan of it. I don't like it. Especially, once they hit like 10, 12. It's all over from there.
No, it's crazy. Like, I remember when I went to high school, everyone dressed like a lesbian. Like, everyone shopped at Eddie Bauer.
Yeah.
Like, it was like those heavy, like, wool knit rug sweaters and turtlenecks.
I was
And
just gonna
like,
say girls wearing sweatshirts with turtlenecks. Like,
yes,
yeah.
yes, yeah, like corduroy pants, like it was wild. And now, fuck, I'd be like Cromartie type levels, bro. I would have been a dad at like 13. No
That's
fucking way.
hilarious. You know what
No
I've
way.
noticed too with the younger girls today? Um, nobody wears a shirt that covers their belly.
Oh,
Whether
no,
you got
nobody.
whether you got rock hard abs or 50 rolls on top of each other, nobody wears
Nobody.
clothing over their stomach anymore. It's ridiculous.
And it doesn't matter what time of year. Like, I go to the
Right.
football games and I'm like, and then you see some jabroni dad wave at his daughter, like, hey, Becky. And I'm like, bro, ain't no way you're leaving the house. And two, I am not waving at my daughter who's halfway naked. Like, you're a bad,
Right?
hashtag bad dad. Just bad dads, like, everywhere. It's
Becky's
just,
dad, we're talking to you.
yeah, you know who you are. Fucking wild, man. It's a wild time. It's a wild time. So what else is going on, my dude?
Oh man. Uh well, I did also I got a TikTok about gaslighting.
Oh, dude, that is my wife's favorite. Gaslight. She don't gaslight me. She loves.
Everything's everything's gaslighting now, and it's like maybe I'm just telling you shit that you don't like. It's not gaslighting. I know
Oh
what
my god,
gaslighting
dude.
is. This isn't it.
Dude, she loves it. She's the queen of don't gaslight me. I'm like, I don't even know what gaslighting is. So I'm definitely not gaslighting you. But yes, that and my wife loves that. I think it's like you get the gaslighting now, which is one of my faves in the house. And my wife doesn't use this one, so I must be doing something right. Narcissist, right? That's the best one they got out now, right? Like I had a client come in and my husband was diagnosed as a narcissist. And I'm like, that's not really a condition. Like he's just an asshole. Like and I'm
Yeah,
like,
good for
do you
him.
know do you know what narcissism is? Yeah, the dude's an asshole. Like, well, have you ever dealt with a narcissist before? And I'm like, looking around my office, I was like, do you know
Come on.
what I do for a living? Like, I get paid to be an asshole. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So those are the two things. Like, although, like, I never hear, and this isn't a knock on women, but I never hear men say, "Hey, my wife's a narcissist." Like, I've never heard that. Like, so I don't know if it's like just like a dude could be a narcissist or like anyone could be a narcissist, but you know, I don't
I
know.
feel like they're a little more willing to throw those accusations and labels around.
But I think it's because they might be smarter than us.
They are.
Because like, there's no way like I would be like, I'm gonna go find out what this is, and then find out what that word is, and then call her that. Like that is a lot of fucking
That's a lot
effort.
of work.
It
Again, it's only
is.
something ambitious women would do.
Yes, yeah, they are much more ambitious than us. Like we I'm like that orangutan with a juice box, bro. I'm just if I can open
Same.
up a
Mhm.
jukebox, I've made
Yeah,
it.
I'm with you.
Yep, that is yeah, but that's what I deal with every day. Every day and it's the yes, it's a my husband is a narcissist. Then you meet the guy and you're like, well, I mean, if anyone's a narcissist, it could be this guy, but I think he's just a raging fucking asshole. But I could say the same thing about the mom today in the hallway. Fucking raging asshole. And it's wild, right? Like I don't understand how like a parent cannot want another parent involved in their life if that parent is a good parent. I said parent a lot in that, by the way. I have a
Yeah.
lot of parents, but I think I get so angry about it. Like there's good parents out there, and then there's just the other one is just throwing fucking speed bumps in for a variety of reasons, and that make
Yeah.
no sense other than just being selfish. And it just
I think it's hard when you're in a divorce situation because when my wife and I were getting a divorce, we were for all intents and purposes cool. She didn't have any money to speak of and basically was like, you just hire a lawyer and whatever they want, like I'll sign it, which was not smart, as you know, as an
yeah,
attorney. That's not what you want.
no,
Um, but yeah, this woman would kind of go out of her way to like fuck with me. I mean it never made any sense. And then slowly but surely and it didn't take much, but I had to undermine her credibility a little bit with the kids, with the
yeah,
court, with whoever, but she kind of earned it.
yeah, and I don't understand the end results when people like do that, right? Like I get it, it's emotional, things didn't work out, fine, move on, right? Like you got to deal with every situation. There has to be a solution for every situation, but it's not about you and the other parent anymore. It's about the kids. And then,
Right.
you know, and then I think it's just a frustrating process. And I'm getting it a lot more where people are fighting a lot more about a lot less. Like, and that's what I just don't understand. And I think a lot of it just they're just I think people are just not happy with themselves and in turn want to make everybody else miserable.
Have you ever seen a situation like what I'm about to explain to you? My ex-wife, the idea of like, hey, you have him for 4 days, I'll have him for 3 days, or every other, whatever.
Yep.
She thought that was the greatest thing ever. She was like, think about it. You'll have like 3 days out of the week where you don't have to worry about the kids at all. And I was like, oh, I worry about them all 7. I don't know. I
Well,
don't
I
know what you're
listen.
talking about. What do you mean I only have to worry about them? What? I'm more
Well,
worried about them when they're with you than when they're here with me. That's
the,
where all
the,
my worry is.
I do have that conversation a lot with people, and especially like the moms, because I find in general the moms are like, much more attached, right? It's just a motherly thing, like they're it's just their nature, much more nurturing. So like typically you'll have like a 2-2-3, so 2 days on, 2 days off, 3 days on, rotate, or 2 days on, 2 days off, and 5 days, right? And that 5 days is the gap, but that's that shared parenting plan. And usually the 5 days are no good for because that's a long gap for either parent to be around. But, so when my clients are struggling, my go-to is, well, wouldn't it be nice to have some time for you? Like a mini vacation, right? Like we all, like my wife is a prime example. I mean, this kid leaves for 2 hours. My wife's out in the window, like all the Western music starts playing. There's like
Yeah.
tumbleweeds like down the road. But it's also nice to be like, hey, you know what? We could go out on a Saturday, right? Like, you kind of have your own time, especially like when the kids are older. And they're more self-sufficient. You're not worrying as much. Or like for us, we have like a really good like his dad is really good, his stepmom's really good, so we really don't have to worry about it. But I tell people, it'll be the first time in your life as a parent that you get to do something for you and not feel bad about it, right? Because if
Yep.
you have your kid and then you're like, well, I'm gonna go out with my friends for a happy hour and you have your kid, like no parent's gonna want to leave their kid home. So yes, you're worrying about your kid, but it's also I always look at it as an opportunity. That's how I have to explain it to a lot of my clients to kind of get them over that hump of listen, this is going to happen one way or another. So you have to choose your perspective on how you're seeing the situation, right? Like you could see it as, well, it's less time with my kid. I'm losing out, I'm missing out. And then you become depressed. Or it's like, hey, you know what? This is an opportunity to spend some time to work on me so I could be better for me and in turn be better for my kid. So, I mean, I I thought I would enjoy not being a parent, right? And then coming in, I thought I would enjoy like our weekends more. But like I find that like when he's not there, like I'm kind of fucking bummed about it too. So, because it's nice to be able to go out and have dinner, but like I got a 17-year-old who's like my best bud. So
Yeah.
like yesterday I was so stoked, got home, we're gonna have a fire pit, talk about his shitty baseball fucking game, give him lessons on how, stepdad was a pro baseball player. It's like, nah, fuck it. I'm gonna go hit some golf balls with Paul. And poor Paul came in my house and almost got ate by my dog, you know. Um, but yeah, it's interesting to see each parent's dynamic, but I think it's just frustrating when people can't see the bigger picture in that aspect. And I think a lot of it is just um it has to do with the individual and just like they're just not happy. So if they're not happy, they're not gonna let you be happy. And I think it's just wild. Like I have a case now where like I represent the father. He's a good dude. The mom is married to somebody else. She has some kids with somebody else. Now they had a baby. Now those kids don't really know that the baby's not really like, you
Uh-oh.
know. So like there's a lot of moving parts and I get it. But like at the end of the day, that's not a me problem. It's not my client's problem. That's like, hey, that's the reality of your situation. So let's go try to figure it out. And I try to be patient, I guess, but I just I see too many bad families and too many